Hello and welcome to another episode of the Roach Koach podcast, the journey to create the Nu-Metal Canon. My name is Lorin Kozlowski. With me, as always, the original Roach Rider, Mr. Matt Nas.
Keep it rolling, baby.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, back with you, back for another episode of the Roach Koach podcast, creating this Nu-Metal Canon one album at a time. This week, we're back and we're talking about some of our favorite boys, Deftones.
Yeah.
And if
Get
we're
that
talking,
the out of here,
get it out of here.
Midwesterners.
It's just Deftones. If you say the, you're not a real fan. You got to turn in your badge. You got to turn in your gun. You're not a real fan. But if we're going to talk about Deftones, then we've got to talk to someone who is the fan. You bring the back for this guy because he's the fan. That's right. That's right. That's right. You may know him from previous appearances on the show, talking about Stained, and now he's back. He's got a podcast, How I Got Tinnitus. It's JD.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm super psyched.
JD,
I'm so excited to have you here.
very happy to have you here. And just to let everybody know, JD came on, rocked it with the stand-up. And
One of my favorite episodes I of last year. I really loved that
super
stand-up
fun.
episode.
Very fun app. And we finished, and JD, you said, when you guys are ready to do No Yokan, my body is ready, my mind is ready, I'm ready. You just shoot me that DM. And I said, let's rock and roll it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. And so indeed we are talking about Deftones, No Yokan, which is there. Hold on. Please hold. Which one is it? It's the
Seventh.
It's the seventh Deftones record. It was released on November 13th, 2012. Matt,
That wow, that is such a come down record that it's almost starting to become, hey, my parents told me about this party that once happened.
Absolutely. JD, I want to start with you. Obviously, we know you have a lot of passion for this record. Talk us through it. Deftones, this album.
Well, so I'm a little embarrassed to admit, even as a Deftones super fan, I kind of dropped off after Self-Titled came out. I got the Self-Titled album on my last day of high school. It had just come out, maybe like the day before, and I could hear the strife that the band was going through, and I wasn't into it. And I just wanted to spend a couple of years being a hippie and traveling all over the world. So I just didn't even listen to music. And sometimes I think about it and I feel like that was sort of a catalyst for it. But I think it was April 2013, which is when Chi passed away. And I was feeling all sorts of feelings about it, and I started to look back at one of my old favorite bands, and I realized that they had put out these two albums I wasn't even aware of, which were Diamond Eyes. I was vaguely aware of the cover, and I didn't even know about No Yokan, so I just went and picked them up and fell in love. I'd listened to this album a lot playing Mario Galaxy with this album on the headphones, just flying across planets. So
I don't want to spoil anything, but that is perfect. This is music for the stratosphere. This is music for the galaxy 100%.
Yeah.
Matt, 2012. November 12th, 2012.
No, I'm preparing for my second wedding anniversary. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's see. Where am I album wise?
Yeah,
yes.
This is what I want to know.
I'm definitely not listening to this album. I never had. But let's see. This is great. Let's see. Billboard's 10 best albums of 2012, and I guarantee I will have not listened to any. An Awesome Wave, Alt J. I liked Breeze Blocks like almost everybody, but no. Sun, Cat Power, never heard it. Cloud Nothings, Attack on Memory, okay. Maybe later. Wrecking Ball, Springsteen, no. Beach House, no. Taylor Swift, no. Miguel, no. Good Kid, Mad City, yes. I definitely was listening to that. Channel Orange, yes. And that was about it. So my 2012, I don't know, doesn't seem to be that great music wise.
Not great, not that great music wise, but you were celebrating your 2nd year of marriage, and so in that way, very good.
The best.
The best. The best. What I can tell you is November of 2012, I'm finishing up what in retrospect may have been one of the best years of my life. I was living in Pittsburgh. I was finishing up my first year of doing improv. I remember just feeling like just loving life. And I remember being hyped for this record because I love Diamond Eyes. And I'm pretty sure I initially downloaded a leak of this when it came out. But when it did drop, I did race over and buy it. And I have a memory of purchasing the album, I believe from Best Buy, and then driving over and getting a haircut at Sport Clips in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. And then listening to this record and going, these boys, what, they can't be stopped. What a run. Incredible. I also remember distinctly, I was still in contact with a few people that I'd been working with at Target, and I wasn't working at Target anymore. There's one gentleman, his name is Dave Wells, very nice guy, but also at the time a maniac. He would just send me texts where I was just like, this guy's out of control. He's now in control. He's married, 3 beautiful children, living the life in Pittsburgh still. And he just sent me a thing and he's like, Deftones, Goon Squad, let's go. And I was like, all right, Wells is in, he's in, Deftones are back, we're feeling good. I pulled up my list that I had posted on my blog that I no longer update, just to see where I placed the boys. And they came in at number 3 on my best albums of the year list. This list had 25 albums on it. It has a few canceled people on it that we don't need to talk about. But I know that, Matt, you would love to hear my top 10. And so here it is.
100%.
All right. So starting at 10, Death Grips, The Money Store.
Okay.
Vitalik,
Okay.
Rave Age. Future, Pluto 3D. DMX's Undisputed. I was really feeling this record. I have since gone back and listened to it. It has some shagginess. But DMX, RIP, a legend. Hot Chip in Our Heads.
Nice.
Torch, Harmonicraft. Carly Rae Jepsen's Kiss Deluxe Edition. Deftones, No Yokan. Killer Mike, RIP Music. And
Nice.
number 1, Kaleidoscope Dream, Miguel. That was my top 10.
I like the torch on there. That's good.
Oh, that Torch record? Snakes Are Charmed? Forget about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I love. There's a song on there, Sandstorm, that has this weird stop start that I really love. It's so cool.
Oh, I listened to that record. I was just like, these guys are magicians. How have I never heard of these guys before? Incredible stuff.
Do you ever listen to Floor?
I don't think, is that a band?
It's the leader of Torch, his band before that. I think there's maybe one more member from Torch.
No.
It's like slightly less melodic, more doomy. It's good. It's good.
Okay. All right. Adding them to my personal list. So that's all where we all were in 2012. It sounds like we were all doing well, living our lives. And
I don't think 2012 was just a big year for music for me. Looking at these albums, I'm like, I just kind of washed over. I was probably listening to old stuff.
Also, Matt, you were a newlywed.
I was a newlywed. I was in
You were
that
newlywed.
wedded bliss.
Exactly. The music you wanted to hear, the sound of your wife's voice. That's all you needed.
Her heartbeat next to mine.
That's right. That's all you needed. You didn't need any other tunes.
No,
Yeah,
hell no.
absolutely not. Now, later on, now you're further on in your life, you have a child, and you're like, can I just hear a song? Anything.
Oh, yeah. Can I hear a song that's not like produced in a song factory? That's like a song mill for children's songs. Like she
Matt.
comes home
Mhm.
and we're in the car
Yeah.
and she goes, I want to hear that Heavy and Light song. I'm like, what are you talking about? They played it in school, so I need to hear that Heavy and Light song with the red guy. Okay, all of this is super helpful, but it gives me all the context clues I need to know that this is from YouTube. So I find it on YouTube, and the song goes like heavy. It's light, 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 heavy. I was like, well, I'm gonna hear this 1,000 fucking times.
Matt, I can tell you that the psychic damage that children's music has done to me is I cannot be repaired. It's irreparable. It has damaged me forever. The Teen Titans Go to the Movie soundtrack scarred me internally. If I hear anything from it, I get PTSD because I heard it so much. So I sympathize 100%.
Wow.
There's a weird like lightness / darkness to like being an adult in the presence of like a non-classic children's song. I don't know about you guys, but like whenever I'm hanging out with my nieces and nephews and they're binking and bonking around to some goofy song on the TV or whatever, like I just feel this strange like melancholy. Like I see this child having a good time, but I feel like I've seen too much of the world, and I don't want them to know what I've seen. I don't know. It's so weird.
I know, I get that 100%, and I think part of it though also, JD, is that these are like nieces nephew situations, you know. So like at the end of the day, you say, "Well, see you, bye bye,"
But
and you go back to your
yeah,
house. You know what I mean? But
yeah, yeah.
Matt and I can tell you that as parents who see our children every day and experience both the highs of their joy and the lows of their misbehavior, for lack of a better word, sometimes you just think, I can't wait for you to get just a peek at the real world. I just need you just to see it for a minute.
Well,
But
like
then you come back. But then you come back.
you
Yeah.
want them to hold on to the innocence as
Mhm.
long as humanly possible, because I would say second grade, my innocence was fully gone because we found pornography and I saw it.
Whoa! In second grade?
Second grade.
Jesus.
And so it's just like way too much. So like, hey, let me try to get you to 4th, 5th grade at least. But then like we go to the park and we're around other kids, and then the older kids walk by and I'm just like, they can try to make this a bully-free zone and like a kumbaya zone. And I was like, I don't know if you've met kids, but they don't give a fuck.
Well, that was a fun little bit of Parent Corner. Guys, let's talk about who's in Deftones on this album.
Who is?
JD, you want to tell us who's in Deftones?
Yeah, let me pull it up here. Personnel. On this album, we have Abe Cunningham on drums, Stephen Carpenter on guitar, Frank Delgado on samples and keyboards, Chino Moreno on vocals and guitar, and Sergio Vega on bass.
There you go. There
I
you
love
go.
that you started with Abe. That is great. Alphabetical. Like, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Sergio Vega, who I did not see at the Tokyo airport during Ozfest Japan 2016. I stopped some complete stranger. I was like, "Excuse me, are you Sergio Vega?" And he was like, "What?" Just like ran away.
Oh, wow. There you go.
I was
Producer,
convinced.
you were convinced.
You were convinced?
You were convinced. And this guy was like,
Yeah.
"Ain't me, bro. Ain't me." Producer on this album, I stumble over this guy's name every time. Nick Raskolenix, if I'm saying that right. Maybe.
Let's go with
That's
it.
what I would say. That's what I say
Lorin,
in my head.
Yeah.
you aren't his family.
I'm not his family, but I've been getting a lot of feedback lately that I'm just mispronouncing everything, and I just want to get something right, you know.
Although us boomers with our cringe jokes.
Us boomers with our cringe jokes, absolutely. Good point, Matt. Good point. So this record, we have some genre tags: alternative metal and alternative rock.
Ruh-roh.
Interesting. And according to Wikipedia, there was a major change in the recording process for this album. It came with the use of the Fractal Audio Systems AX FX preamp/effects processor, which creates the sound of multiple outboard amps and pedals and allowed for different tones. Mr. Vega said the group was able to bring Fractal into hotel rooms and run it into software and record ideas and flesh them out later. The group tracked guitar, bass, and vocals, then recorded drums and replaced the guitar, bass, and vocals. Vega confirmed that everything was organic. I want to let everybody know, I don't know what any of that means. I don't know what any of that means. I feel like every time a band makes a record, they're like, listen, this one, a little different. We recorded it in a bus. We recorded it in hotel rooms. We recorded it any minute we had a spare moment. If I thought of a riff, I turned to the other guy and I'd just start humming it at him. And then he'd pull his sticks out. He'd start playing on whatever was nearby, a book, you know, a small baby, whatever, anything that could get a tempo on, he would do. And then we'd all hum it into just, whatever we could record with. Maybe it was just a tape recorder. Maybe it was some guy who's, dictating a message to his wife. He said, give me that. I got a riff idea. And we record it, and then later we take that demo and we put it in to the Boom Tracks 2000 and we put it all together. And that's the record you hear. And then you hit play on it, and it sounds like every other album you've ever fucking heard.
That's how I feel about Korn's Untouchables. I still, maybe because I don't have a $3 billion stereo system, but I still don't understand.
Listen,
Yeah.
unless
not sitting there being like, oh, you know what? Yeah, the oral space created by this, really fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure this Fractal FX thing, which is like a digital modeling thing, this is what, unless I'm mistaken, this is what Metallica bought like every available unit on planet Earth when they played their infamous show in Antarctica, because they couldn't bring amps to Antarctica.
Because they would.
Have you ever seen that show?
No.
It's good. It's good. They're playing like on the ground. They mess up. It's great.
Wait, Metallica messing up?
Yeah.
This
Antarctica. They've played every continent on Earth.
They play.
Check it out.
All right. Feature. It's a feature, Lorin. It's not a bug.
Not a bug. All right. I will Google this later. Did they play Enter Sandman?
I can't remember. It's a pretty short set. It's just like the heaviest hitters. Yeah, I bet you they play Enter Sandman, but everyone's like wearing sunglasses. They're like under a dome. It's like 50 super fans from Argentina because it's the only people who could get there on a boat, and some scientists. It's great.
Unbelievable. This record, Koi no Yokan, was met with widespread acclaim from critics upon its release, debuting at number 11, selling over 65,000 copies in its first week. And according to Nielsen SoundScan, it has sold over 200,000 copies to date in the United States. Chino has characterized the album as dynamic with a full range of noise. And he also noted that they had increased contribution of ideas from bassist Sergio Vega compared to the previous record, Diamond Eyes.
Hell yeah.
So there you go. You go through the reviews. Kerrang, 5 out of 5. Absolute Punk, 9 out of 10. All Music, 4 out of 5. Drowned in Sound, 9 out of 10. Loudwire, 4.5. Loudwire. What's your problem?
What's going on, Loudwire?
What's going on, Loudwire? You listen to this record and you just couldn't slap it with a straight 5? Were you ready to do it and your editor stepped in and said, slow down. Slow down. You can just throw a straight 5 on this?
Yeah, their editor was Matumbo.
Exactly. Just brought it back down. Block that one. He said 4.5 is the best we can do. Best I can do is 4.5. Enemy, 8 out of 10. Slant Magazine, 4 out of 5. Sputnik Music, 4.4 out of 5. Here we go, though. One dissenter, Spin, 7 out of 10. Spin said, okay. Spin was like, okay, sure. We like it. Do we like it? No. But we like it. And we like it. You also want to know that in the composition section of the Wikipedia, The music incorporates experimental elements from the band's previous albums, Saturday Night Wrist and Diamond Eyes, incorporating elements from metal, including doom metal and groove metal, alternative rock, shoegaze, dream pop, hardcore punk, post rock, and prog rock. And there are citations for every single one of those. So you can hover over and see who referenced what in what interview or review.
I'm curious about the hardcore punk one. Rolling Stone, apparently.
Classic Rolling Stone. Classic Rolling Stone. I don't know if you know this now. Rolling Stone has abandoned the star rating. They don't do star ratings anymore. If you pick up a copy of Rolling Stone magazine, it will maybe have 2 reviews in it. They're just generally like, oh, we like this record. But if they really like this record, they will give it a rating of instant classic. And I don't want to get into it. I refuse to get into it. But I'll just tell you that the last few that I've seen that got an instant classic status, I disagree. That's all I'm gonna say. You can use the old Goo machine to find out what I'm talking about. But
do you know how like actually rare it is for an album to be an instant classic? Like,
it's very rare, Matt. It's very rare.
I've been re-listening to a lot of 60 songs that shaped the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
great pod.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. And I listened to the Bjork Hyper Ballad one, and he said like that song was one of like 5 songs that on first listen completely affected him, and he 100% got it. He was like, ticket punched. This is for me. I know exactly what this is. This is an amazing song and will always be. And he's like, that's like 1 of 5 on first listen. So like to be like an album is an album. Every song, first track to last track, instant classic. You know how fucking rare that is?
It's very rare, man.
Like it just doesn't happen. Yeah, it's very small percentage of albums. And I love music and I listen to a lot of it, but it isn't like, oh, you know what? Yeah, this new Truth Club record, instant classic. It's great to me, but we'll see where I feel in 2 years.
It's a good point, Matt. It's a good point. Well, I think let's see. I think we've covered just about everything with it. Yeah, I do have a physical copy of the album here. I do believe that I'm dealing with, and I wasn't sure if I was even going to bring this up, but I should, because I'm such a big physical media proponent. I love CDs. I love Blu-rays. I feel like that's the way to go. Keep your music, keep it preserved. Don't have it on a hard drive. Someone could drop a magnet on it, lightning strike, what have you. That being said, I believe that I'm dealing with some CD rot in regards to my copy of No Yokan. It appears that it is peeling, came out of the CD player, it had a little something hanging off it. I said, what is this? I thought it was a hair. But no, it appeared to be the edges of the CD. And I did a quick goo on it, didn't like what I saw, went into denial mode, just put it back in the jewel case. Maybe we'll deal with that later. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But I do have my original physical copy here. I will say that this front cover is very spacey, very exotic, gives you both space, but also tells you that maybe someone has like a pretty sick interior decorator in their cool little home. Lots of neon lights going on in there. Do we have a picture of the band? I don't know if there is. Is there a picture of the band?
I think under the CD there is.
Oh, let me look under my. Yeah,
I know you don't want to touch it too much.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for you. You're
with the lock in.
No, it is not. It is not. It is just water. Just water. So no. Oh wait.
On the back.
Where's the band? Here they are. They're sitting on the back of the CD.
Yeah.
They're hanging out. I like this picture. Because we do have everybody looking very casual here. Frank is standing and everyone else is sitting, and you know what, they look like guys who just got out of the studio from rocking this album out, and they look tired, And they do look like if you said to them, hey, I think you just made an instant classic, they would say, I just want a full night's sleep. That's all I need right now. I'm so beat. I don't even want to think about it anymore. And I don't know the origin of this, but I like to think like this was at the tail end of some exhausting day. And they said, this is the time. This is the time to do the photo. Let's do it when you guys are, rode hard and about to be put away wet. Like you guys are just roasted and toasted. And I appreciate that. You know what? You like that vulnerability. See it every now and again. I do also want to point out, I know it's going through the liner notes here, that this was mixed, because people have been talking about mixing. This is mixed by Rich Costi and had additional production by Matt Hyde, who would go on to produce the follow-up, Gore. So
Oh, wow.
that is where that relationship began. But let's do it, guys. Let's dive into these tracks. Let's rock and roll.
Let's do it.
Yeah, JD, how are we kicking this record off?
Oh, the first song is called Swerve City.
Thanks for watching this episode of Roach Koach on YouTube. Unfortunately, we do not play the music here on YouTube because we want to avoid those sweet, sweet copyright strikes. But you can check out in the description. We have the links to the podcast itself, which includes all the clips from the music that we hear. And back to the show.
Yeah.
JD,
All right.
We'll start with you. Feelings on Swerve City.
Swerve, well, I mean, first thoughts, maybe I've been listening to Roach Koach too long, but I want to say, like, Deftones are back, baby. I know it hasn't been too long since their last album, which was a ripper, but this has just got some real good, like, we're here, we're going to do it, and yeah, it sounds really good. It's real fan in the hair music, like just the stage fan just blasting you back, feeling the power of 50,000 plus people screaming at you to play your songs. So, I really love Sergio's bass playing on this song and the rest of the album, but just before the chorus kicks in, there's this little and I just love that he's like stepped into this role as like the bass, because she was such a powerful force on the bass in the band and brought like these dynamic elements, and I'm really happy that he's doing that on this song and this whole album.
Matt, how are you feeling about Swerve City?
It is Deftones' signature sound coming through. Chino, when he starts singing, it is undeniably Deftones. Like, here, the boys are back.
There we go.
And there's still a feeling that I have that is a little like, okay, we're setting a tone here. Chino's maybe undoing his belt at this point. He's not full sensual Chino yet. Like, maybe he's putting on his pants, or like maybe this is a putting on the sock song. Like, it's not full Chino swagger yet. He's definitely got his vibes going, but they're not a honed missile in this song. But it is certainly them. They are back. If I were a fan, I'd be like, whew, good to hear this. I'm glad this, whew. All right. Lorin.
I wrote my notes. We are in it hot open. I can tell you that as a Deftones fan in 2012, hearing this as the kickoff of the album, I said, this is how you start an album. This is how you start a Deftones album, and maybe notes to all other bands, how everyone should start an album. If your album doesn't start like this, get it out of here. I listened to an album this morning. New release just came out. Oh, I'm going to put him on blast right now. This is a new St. Vincent record, who I'm kind of whatevs. Thank you, Matt. And Matt, give a thumbs down.
I heard the fucking. I'm a fan. I really enjoy St. Vincent. I think Mass Seduction is fantastic.
The lead up to this record, I got Dave Grohl. I got all these heavy hitters. I'm gonna be on fire on the front cover, and the album starts with 2 back-to-back ballads. GTF. Oh, you kidding me? Anyway. Also, I mean, I was still definitely in Deftones mode, so I was not in the mode really for this record either way. But with this one, I wrote crisp, moody, rocking, airy, Deftones in the zone. I wrote down the lyrics. She breaks her horses. She tames with her voices. We're setting a tone. Around 139, you get a bit of a shoegazy cutting guitar line. And I make the claim in my notes here that this is one of their best openers. And I did look through a lot of their other openers. And honestly, these guys are like opener kings, really. Their first album opens with Bored. Their second album opens with My Own Summer. It's these guys can't be stopped. They know how to open a record. Incredible stuff. Matt, you bring up Chino putting on a belt, taking off his pants, putting on his pants, putting on some socks. Where is he? I want to tell you a little bit about the music video for Swerve City. Did you watch this music video, JD?
I watched the video.
Okay.
I watched all the videos, I think.
Okay.
Videos.
Yeah. So there's the video is a woman riding around on a horse.
Of course she is.
2 minutes of the 2 minute and 37-second song. She's just riding her horse, riding around, riding.
Petting it. She stops to pet it.
It's right. She does. And I remember thinking, is this whole fucking video going to be a lady riding around on a horse? I mean, there's a horse in the lyrics. We're taking this pretty literally. Near the tail end of the video, suddenly, and I'm going to read this from the wiki, we see Chino Marino heading towards her home, the woman's home, which is a ranch bungalow, in a Porsche Panamera. I don't know what that is, but apparently very nice car.
Sounds expensive.
Sounds very expensive.
Yeah,
Car pulls
it's so
up,
expensive, none of us heard of this car.
None of you heard of this car.
That's a 911, sure, heard of that one. This one, very rare.
Very rare. So, the woman's in her house, and she notices the car headlights pull into her driveway. She walks outside, and I'm reading her face, and honestly, this was late at night, but I'm watching this video, and I'm just like, something's gotta happen. Like, what? We've been watching this lady ride a horse without consequence or any sort of plot or anything. Chino's in a really nice car. Where are we going with this? Chino gets out of the car. His face, I would say, is a little bit reserved, and I'm looking at her face, and I'm like, she's not happy to see him, but she's also not pissed, but she's somewhere, there is some sort of seated feeling that she is reserving. And then she uncrosses her arms to reveal a gun. Cut to black. Cut to black. Cut to black.
Yeah, with like I was gonna shoot you, but you're Chino, so I'm not.
That's interesting. Energy. See, then here's the Rorschach test of this video: is that yours taking it as I was going to shoot you, but now I'm not going to. That moment that gun showed up, I was like, but also Chino's vibe is one of, guys,
what?
I got to take my really nice car. I got to drive out to see this woman who might shoot me, but also I might deserve it. I might be due a bullet, and so I might not be back. I'm letting you know. Like a man meeting his fate. Maybe. It's open-ended. And so this video that I was like, this video is stupid. This woman's just riding a horse for 2 minutes. And at the end, I'm just like, this video's making me think. This video's taking me through it. Oh my gosh. So so the video on there, very unusual. Not what I expected at all. From it. There's no performance. I think did they do a second cut of the video where they put some live performance in? Maybe they got some feedback like Korn did on that other one, and they were like, put some performance in, something like that.
Yeah, I just saw the straight horse. It looks like a horse training video or something.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
It's very unusual. And then I went over to a little website called Songingmeanings.com.
Oh, I've heard of this.
And what I want to let you guys know is that on November 12th, 2012, Deftones put this album out. And on that same day, the website, the people running the boards, running the behind the scenes at Songingmeanings.com, saw an influx of new accounts, because I can't tell you, and I'm not going to read them all, but as we go through it, I can't tell you how many of these songs have comments that start with, I had to make an account to comment on this song, or I had to make an account to comment on you, motherfucker. Like, people were creating accounts left and right to get in this comment section. I mean, I got to tell you, Songingmeanings to HQ that night, they were just like, what's going on? People calling people, you need to come in. Why? What's going on? Deftones dropped a new one and people are losing it. New accounts are coming in. I don't know if the server can take it. We have to change servers. Get your ass in. Get your ass into the office right now. New tones. We got a comment
Tonys
here.
are coming.
The Tonys.
Oh, the Tonys are after us.
Yeah. We have a comment from Aulu, November 19th, 2012. It said, now that's a way to start an album. Loud and intense. Love at first sight. Matt, isn't that kind of a variation on Instant Classic?
I think so.
I think
I'm
so.
going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. Alex Da said, I think
I had
it's
to
about
make an account, and I'm super pissed about it.
They said, I think it's about a very attractive woman using her beauty to seduce men, parentheses, horses. The strange voice could be interpreted as a look or gesture that completely disarms her prey. She then strings them along for pleasure, parentheses, distant howls floating around. If you watch both videos, you'll see the common thread of violent women using a horse as a tool for her actions. Lowrider responded and said, LOL, I think you're right. S&M seems to be a big theme in more than of their music than I initially realized. Then Utter Juice said, couldn't care less what the song is about. I made an account to say this song is amazing, and the album is a modern classic.
I'm definitely not a Rolling Stone plant. I guarantee.
Listen, I'm gonna get in there. They know I'm not gonna be a plant. How are you gonna hide the fact that you're a plant? Oh, don't worry. My screen name is Utter Juice,
AKA Milk.
Exactly. Then we got another one here. Matt's probably gonna call this guy out as a plant too. His screen name is Poonard. Or is it Poonard? I don't know. The best lyricists are the ones who can write songs that have no one particular meaning, but can be interpreted a trillion different ways. Maynard James Keenan, Chino, Adrian Belew of King Crimson, and John Anderson of Yes come to mind.
Wow,
all talented vocalists and I guess lyricists. I'm not sure Chino belongs on that list, but
it's a wackadoo list to put Chino.
It really is. It really is. Yeah.
Peter really Gabriel era Genesis.
Jack White.
Erykah Badu, Adam West spoken word album.
The guy from the Decemberists. Gucci Mane.
And Jeff Mangum.
Now this is a good one, Matt. You'll appreciate this one. This name of this commenter is Genesis Fan, who said, I wasn't feeling this album at first.
I had no idea that was coming. Yeah. Brilliant. Simpatico.
I wasn't feeling this album at first listen, but over time, this song has drawn me in.
It's almost like it had an invisible touch.
Oh,
I like that, Matt. And there was a little back and forth here. Alex905 said, I think the song is awesome, very visceral, very raw. I can't believe there's only one comment. I don't have a take on what the lyrics mean. I know what it means to me, and that's enough, I guess. Just had to say, I love this song. They then immediately followed this up to say, just made an account because I was thinking the exact... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Then Zach2902 said, just made an account because I was thinking the exact same thing when I scrolled down to this comment.
Yeah, that 2902 reeks of
Yeah, they
freshly
made it
generated
so
account.
fast, so fast.
Yeah.
I got to get in there. And meanwhile, songmeanings.com servers are groaning. They sound like the hull of the Titanic. Can we hold it together? Or the Starship Enterprise just getting blasted by Romulan lasers. Just like, can we make it through this? No, Deftones came out so many new accounts.
Khan is there with my last breath. I
Absolutely.
curse your name.
That's right. Well, I think it's the
Swerve City.
Swerve City. Swerve City.
JD,
That was
before
also
we
the name
go,
of their
before
beer.
we, what's that?
They
No, I
had a
was gonna
beer named
ask-
Swerve City.
They had a beer named Swerve City. The
Yeah,
Deftones.
Deftones. Yeah. I'm
What
sorry.
did
What were
I
you
knew
saying?
that? I did know that, but I never put that together.
Up next, we have Romantic Dreams. JD, you were feeling this one hard. Walk us through your feelings.
I was feeling it. Well, after they delivered the goods with Swerve City, I still have this feeling every time I start this album up again. I think these guys are using their fame, money, and power for good. All too often, and I'll try and touch on this theme later in the album. But these bands, when they get so big, they lose the plot. And I think while maybe not every song on this album is like a complete all-timer for Deftones, I think they're just doing a really good job of stepping up to the plate and delivering like a really solid thing, and the song's no exception. And that riff that was just coming in right before the verse, I guess the chorus, so I wait to discover. Those riffs are so heavy, and I don't know if you've ever talked about this, but Stefan has this progression he's been doing with his guitars ever since the first album. He's gone lower in tuning every album, and he's even added strings. So on self-titled, it was a 7-string, and on Saturday Night Wrist, another 7-string. Yeah.
Mhm.
But on this album and the one before it, it was an 8-string guitar. So you're gonna hear a lot of like super heavy low end on this album.
Whoa. Wait a minute. 8 strings.
8 of them.
8 strings? That's allowed?
And not
Wait
to
a
mention, Chino's all over this album. There's only one song he doesn't play 6-string on. So you've got a couple of them on the album.
Oh my gosh. Matt,
Yeah, buddy.
8 strings.
Yeah.
So if
This
6
is-
strings, if 6 strings is your standard guitar,
That's the sound of good old fashioned rock and roll.
I'm
7
keeping track.
strings. Okay, JD, keep track on this. 7 strings
7
then
strings.
takes you. That's going to give you what I believe is considered the Korn signature sound.
Korn signature sound. Absolutely. Created by Joe Satriani. The
Yeah.
7-string guitar.
Absolutely. So then with an 8-string guitar,
8.
we're now saying that this is what's going to give you Deftones signature sound.
That's correct. Wow.
Stefan really got into the like heavy guitar sound after he heard a band called Meshuggah, and he just fell in love with that what is called the gent sound. That's like dun, 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 dun. And he's gone on the record as saying like I haven't like gotten any better. I'm just playing the same riffs. I'm just adding more strings to my guitar and playing the same one. And
that is a criticism. That is a criticism I've heard leveled at Deftones, that the riffs are similar / recycled / stolen, what have you. And my feeling is that every riff, for the most part, that I hear in a Deftones album is killer. So why wouldn't I want to hear it on the next one too?
Yeah.
So I'm keep doing what you're doing, Steph. Don't change it.
Don't
If
stop.
you need to-
I'm hoping that the next album we get a 9-string. He might even.
Well, I believe Ohms had like a ton of strings on it. He went string crazy on that record.
I actually found this. I'm a real low tunings nerd, and I found this really cool Google Doc that has like a complete listing of every Deftones song number of strings and tuning for each string for every stringed instrument in every single song. So I have this, I'm looking up this chart of all the tunings for this album. It's really neat.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Wow.
gosh. Well, that's going to make my comments sound real dumb because I wrote, "This is the romance album. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go." I said the descending riff really hits that pleasure center. And I really like the riff out at the end with the coda. And then I said, "What an experience." This is why people listen to this show, for things like this.
The high and the low.
That's right. I also noted that the beginning of the song was very moody. That's something I also noticed. I did not do a string count, but that's on me. That's on me. That's why we had you on. I was like, JD, he's gonna have the string count.
String
He's a
count.
string
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, how you feel about Romantic Dreams?
They're in the pocket. They are doing Deftones things. If you were worried about them changing style, no. I would say, in fact, they are perfecting their style. If you like this, if you are a fan, you are in hog heaven. I've always been a fair weather Deftones fan. There's some things I really like, and then there's other things that I don't like. I feel like this is a very gateway drug so far. Deftones record, like very accessible. Like this one feels more like the doors are open. Come on in. Whereas White Pony feels like a dangerous record. I don't feel the danger here.
Gotcha. Matt, would you say that you're leaning more towards the end of instant classic or modern classic at this point?
I would say that this is really like a classic for the ages at this
Ooh,
point.
I like that. I like that a lot, Matt. That's really good. Songmeanings.com commenter Tune Junkie said my first impression of the lyrics were about being really drunk at a strip club and falling in love with a stripper. At the end, he hits the proverbial too drunk wall and sings what sounds to me like I wish the night would end, thus ending his drunken infatuation. All right. Beamon13 said, I never really understood what this song truly meant until today, that being April 14th, 2014. When you find the one person you've been searching for and you would do anything to be with them, it is borderline obsession. Some may call it love. I myself don't even understand what it is yet. This song truly resonates with me now. And so I was like, that person really needs to tell us more about what's going on. They also may need to get out of them bushes because police are on their way.
Are they okay? Is that person all right?
I don't know. I don't know, Matt.
I am worried about them.
Little worried.
Like some people might call it this. I don't.
Some people call it a borderline obsession. Some call it love. I feel like this is something that's being read in front of a judge.
Yeah, I was gonna say some people might call it a grounds for a restraining order, but I think of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Judge, have you ever seen a romantic comedy?
This is all just a misunderstanding, Your Honor.
I would say that I'm the charming knucklehead leading man who ain't got a clue.
I'm just following my heart.
So what? 100 pigeons are dead in her garage. This happened. But if they would have lived when she opened it, the hole would have pulled the strings that led to the big reveal of would you marry me? And then the judge goes, so she did not know who you were.
Yeah, the judge will then hit you with the mandatory minimum sentence and lock you away.
Sir, the woman in question, the very married
yes. The commenter We Face Amaze said, I think it's a love song about drugs. Chino may have implied that it's about a woman, but the feeling of the song sounds twisted romantic. It's hit harding and mesmerizingly enchanting at the same time, like a drug hit and the feeling of wanting more of it. This
Oh, this
motherfucker
romance, little twisted.
twisted. Also, when you hit harding and
Mm.
mesmerizingly enchanting, that's when you know that you're
That
high
ain't
enough to
that
post
ain't
the song.
person love. That's drug love.
As drug love. That's right. That's right. The music video for this song, bit of a letdown for me. A guy skateboards around what I assume is downtown LA in the evening. Sometimes you see some Deftones billboards in the background. You can hear the city noise and the skateboard noises on top of the track through the whole video. That's it.
Skateboard training video.
Yeah. So you get a horse training video, skateboard training video.
Lots of vehicles.
A lot of analog vehicles.
Yeah,
you
this
know?
is a real Deftones take on transportation.
Yeah, there were other singles from the album, but these were the only videos. Very surprising, and yeah, that was the case. But so it goes. So it goes. Up next, guys. This is a song title I've been waiting to say to Matt. It's Leathers.
Oh boy.
Matt, I knew that drop was coming,
Wow.
and it couldn't have come at a better time. Because it shocked you out of your drug reverie. Let you know that you're back on Earth, baby.
Came down real hard. What a crash.
What a crash. I wrote in my notes, reach for the sky, unleash yourself. We got another winner here. Lyric, you're cutting your ties now and forever. Time to let everything outside you. Man alive. I mean, this could be drugs. This could be, honestly, I don't know. This feels too visceral. This feels too feet on the ground. But there's someone else with you. Things are getting very real, super real, ultra real.
I'm such a piece of trash. In my brain, I go feet in the ground, dick into puss.
Jesus, Matt,
I'm a goblin.
You are
lowbrow goblin.
You got. Well, here's the thing: we're dealing with Chino and the boys, and once those sensual tendrils get into your brainstem, Matt,
right?
It's where you go. It's where you go.
Yeah, it taps into my primal pervert.
Exactly. And it's just going to be on me and JD to kind of bring you back a little bit, to tell you, hey, listen.
Rein it in.
Listen, just, if you could just sheath your hog for a little bit longer so we get through this.
Look, man, I don't know why Catherine's not into it, but I've been listening to Leathers on repeat for the past 6 weeks.
Catherine, time to let everything outside you. Leave me alone.
I am working.
I'm at work. What am I doing? JD, we're gonna come back to you. We're gonna hopefully come out of the horn dog zone for just a second. Don't worry, Matt. We'll come back to you. JD, how are you feeling about this one?
So I've got a lot of feelings about this song, and of course every song on this album. But this is where, and before I say anything, I want to make it clear: I love this album. I love this song. I've also got some issues with this. So like I said a second ago, this album has a lot of songs with Chino playing guitar. I think there's only one song that he doesn't play guitar on. And I have a lot of feelings about that because I know he and Steph have kind of like feuded on Maine in the past about their whole creative relationship. And I think a lot of that has stemmed from Chino trying to like horn his way in as a stringed instrument player. And this riff that they play, it sounds a lot like you just found out a cool tuning on your guitar and you played this one thing. It's this easy chug, and you're like, wow, that sounds really cool. And I'm gonna guess that Chino wrote this progression, if you want to call it that. It's just like 2 notes, and he was like, we should make a song out of that. and nobody could really come up with a better idea, so they just like wrote this song around it. It's a cool sound, but it's not to me like the heaviest riff. And every time I hear it, I just see in my mind's eye Chino having to look at his guitar every time they hit the higher note. It goes "Jun, jun, jun, meow." And every time it hits that "meow," I see Chino looking down nervously to make sure he's hitting the right note on his guitar. And sure enough, if you're a super fan like I am, looking up all this live footage, look up a video of him playing the song, and I guarantee you, you'll see just that. Chino looking at his guitar because
Wow.
he's like he's half in and he's half out of his role as a vocalist.
Would you say, as a guitar player, is it real like amateur hour shit if you're looking at it the whole time?
I think it says something about where you're at. I think a little look for adjustment every now and then is good, but as far as like rock starism goes, I think like having to look at your guitar halfway through, and he's delivering these like awesome screams, like some really heavy, high pitched uh, vocal cord shredding screams, like that just doesn't seem very feasible to me. And so, yeah, it just erodes at my confidence in where he's at as a performer. I have a similar beef with bands that like to like switch instruments on stage. Like I'm a multi instrumentalist myself, but I don't know. I just want to see people express themselves on the instrument that they worked hard to be up on stage to play. And Chino tends to play out of tune a lot on stage. As a guy myself who plays miserably out of tune every time I find myself in front of an audience, um, I'm just like, come on, guys, you can do better.
I've definitely also read a lot of the stuff about the Steph Chino friction and in regards to him bringing his guitar playing in. And that seems to be a common affliction to bands. I know that that's something that happened to Pearl Jam when Eddie Vedder decided that he wanted to play more guitar. And what's funny though is that where we stand now with these bands is that it feels to me when I see footage of Pearl Jam performing, Eddie don't have nothing in his hands but a microphone. And all the footage that I've seen of Deftones at Coachella most recently, and at, Diablos Deftones night, Chino's just got the mic. It's like he put the guitar away. I'm trying to think the last time I saw them, which I think was 2017. I don't recall a lot of Chino playing. I know when I saw him in 2015, he definitely had the guitar on for a few songs, but yeah, he's in his natural state without the guitar. And what's interesting though is that to see other bands who've started with a lead singer also playing rhythm guitar of some kind, and then that lead singer deciding, I want to really be a front person. And so I'm going to drop the guitar. So I brought this up before the show. I went to see Mannequin Pussy and Soul Glow recently. And the lead singer of Mannequin Pussy, Missy, she was sans guitar for more than half the show. And she had another guitarist playing her parts so she could be the front woman. And I can tell you that when she did pick the guitar up, the energy level never really dimmed. It was a hot show the whole time. But man, when she put the guitar down and became just a front woman, the electricity goes up. And I think that's kind of a key thing. I mean, I'm sure and I know there are other bands where everybody's playing an instrument. They're all up there. They're all up front. But it really did make me think. And then this really kind of reignited that thought of like, yeah, when you just got a front person, no instrument, but their voice connecting, it's what you want. It's what you want.
Well,
you know?
the thing that makes that powerful is that Chino, as a front person, is probably one of the best front people of the last 30 years. Like when he is going and he is on, he's locked in, and he can convert non-fans to fans in a performance because he'll go there. Like, I don't, if you're a rhythm guitarist or if you're a lead guitarist, but you're not the front person and you're looking at your instrument, I don't fucking care. Who cares? But when you're the lead, when you're supposed to be the one that my eyes are on, then I want your eyes on us. Like I need you projecting out, and it's hard to project out when you're like, yeah, we are and as somebody who's done that on stage a million times as a front person, it just speaks to, I don't know how to play my instrument, which is
Right.
fine if that's kitschy enough to get you through it. But like, you're Chino. Like, I know what you're capable of. Like, I've literally seen it. So like this cheapens it a little bit if you have to cheat down and look at your instrument, because it takes you away from, like, that is the magic of the live show, is like we get to have this experience together. Like, I get to try to lock in with what you're doing, and when it looks like you're working, then it's like,
Yeah.
that's like, if making it look like you're working as part of your show, then okay, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But like the Deftones, that is not their thing. Their thing is not to make you feel like everybody on stage is working their ass off. Their thing is to, like, you're in our world, check this shit out. Like, this song rips. I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. I think this song's pretty great. I will say again, I will probably reiterate this. This feels like a better gateway album than almost any of the other ones. Like, if you don't know, listen to this one. I feel like you'll get a really great sense. If I were to have heard this before White Pony, I think I'd be a much bigger Deftones fan.
Okay.
It's funny you keep bringing up White Pony. I tend to think of this one because, like I said earlier, I've had a turnaround on, definitely on self-titled. Saturday Night Wrist has still lost me a bit, but I sort of think of this album as like the White Pony to Diamond Eyes' Around the Fur. Like, Around the Fur was like more of a straightforward rock record. It was very like stripped down and bare and kick-ass. And then this album is like similar to White Pony, has a lot more experimental, a lot of spaciness, and a lot of beeps and boops. And I like it for that.
Guys, songmeanings.com.
I've heard of this website. I love it. Tell me about somebody who had to set up an account, please.
Well, Matt, on this one, I want to start with D. Chester, November 7th, 2012. They said, be tough like leather, stand up and speak out. I said, ooh, okay. All right. I like this vibe. We're cultivating here. Morodrim, November 19th, 2012. This song has one of the most explosions of awesomeness on the entire album. Right around the 256 mark, just melts your face. But yeah, this is about being your true self around others, but at the same time having a thick skin, like leather. You're cutting all ties now and forever, so you're free to be yourself. Being upfront, showing even your enemy who you are. It's a call to be genuine. Okay. All right.
You know what I notice when
Yeah, Matt?
you read songmeaning.com comments, Lauren,
What's
that it reminds me of when I used to give my book report to my mom, and she would read my, fourth grade English. And it would be like, the Hardy Boys are great adventurers and detectives. They really know how to detect like.
Matt, I got to give this the proper level of respect that it deserves. My 2 cents, that's their screen name. November 23rd, 2012. They put up a song meaning. They said, I think Morodrim more or less has this, except I think it may actually be more about the crowd. We don't all get to be ourselves in our daily lives, but when you go to a Deftones concert, it's Chino's call for you to take action. It's like he's telling a crowd, tonight is your chance to let everything inside of yourselves out in a public manner. And I was like, ooh, okay. All right. I like this, my 2 cents.
It's a real I Heart Huckabee situation.
That's right.
How am I not myself?
That is
Oh
the
my
question that
God,
my 2 cents is
myself.
asking. And I want to
Oh
say
my
it's
God,
my
myself.
2 cents. It's TOO. Okay, see what they did there. Comment from the man named Ace. I think it's a revelation of reality, extending beyond the beginning of a relationship, much like the middle of a show or a mixtape. We've shown our teeth and our strength a little at the beginning, but now the honeymoon's over. Time to get real. Like when the Deftones start up Die the Flu, and you know the crowd loves the song, but the guy next to you gets as utterly pumped as you do because it's both your favorite song. New friends, getting real, connections, leather strong. This takes such a turn at the back half where I was like,
Dude.
wait, am I on Song Meanings or am I on Misconnections? What's happening here?
We were in the pit. Deftones, leather, friends. I
Die the
gave
Flu-
you.
Die the Flu is coming out.
Die the
We
Flu
locked
came
eyes.
out. I saw you. You saw me. Want to be
Hit
buds?
me up.
Want to be buds? Want to be buds? Want to be pals for life? Listen, can I list you as an emergency contact? That's all I'm asking. I'm renting an apartment. I need to list someone. And I think it should be you, Die the Flu Pit guy.
Looking for best man.
Yeah, listen, I just need somebody to stand up next to me and let me know I'm making the right choice with her. All right. And I know that you, this man in the pit with me,
You get it.
you understand me more than anyone I've ever met in my fucking life right now. Can I trust you with the security of my home? I want to give you the passcode to my alarm system. Can I trust you?
Do you want access to my garage?
I have a safety deposit box. I've got 2 keys to it. I'm holding on to one. Can I trust you with the other one? You would have to meet me at the safety deposit box. We have to put the keys in at the same time and turn them like we're in a Die Hard movie. Can you do this for me? Guy in the pit. Guy in the
pit. Well, I wonder if he ever found him.
I hope he did. I hope he did.
Up next.
Up next, we got a song called Poltergeist.
Wow.
What can I say about this song, guys? What can I say? I'm going to go straight to my notes. The claps, the riff drop in, the chug before the pre-chorus. This is the greatest song you've ever heard. When this closes, all you can do is go, woo! This is what you want. This is what, when you put your money in the hand of a cashier and say, one Deftones album, please. This is what you need to hear, and here you're hearing it. The deliver. The boys are delivering. Sorry, I'm very emphatic. JD.
This is also the one song where Chino is not playing guitar, and I think you can really hear it. He's like really letting it rip. They've been doing this thing over the past few years in their live shows where Chino's been like coming up with these weird little woos and yelps that he's been like, especially in a live setting, like has a lot of echo and delay on. And I feel like he's been starting to incorporate those little on stage fun times into his songwriting. So I think on this song he's doing a little bit of those, like the yelps, knowing this is going to translate as a ripper on stage. He's going to have the mic cable wrapped around his hand. You know, he's going to have the foot up on the monitor. The buttoned up flannel's going to be elegantly draped around his Dickies pants. He's going to look so cool when he sings this song.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Matt, how you feel about Poltergeist?
It's great. It's great. They are locked in. This song is in the pocket. This is great Deftones. This is great rock and roll music. No, this is great. I love. My history with this band is generally not enjoying what they do, and the reasons is, but the reason being, I find a lot of their stuff to be discordant, or kind of ramshackled, or the way that it shifts to Chino's voice doesn't grab me in the way that I want it to. This grabs me all the way. I'm full ticket punched. I'm on the ride. I'm very much enjoying this.
Matt, on the scale that we've been talking about earlier of instant classic, modern classic, where are you at right now? Where are you hanging out? Where are you hanging out?
This is interesting because I felt like this is, I was thinking modern classic, but then I got a little bit deeper and I was like, instant classic. So right now I'm way more on the instant classic, which I believe is on the scale. I'm at original recipe, I believe is what I'm at right
Original
now.
recipe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that, Matt. Songmeanings.com. Aulu is back. And they said poltergeist, evil and malevolent spirit that plays with its victim just for the sake of some sick enjoyment. Could be a reference to mankind's handling and neglect of planet Earth.
Could be.
Something to think about. So Corny responded to this and said, the lyrics to me appear to have more of a sensual nature than natural. Sticking out tongue emoji. That, you know what I'm going to say? That is the first on the show. That's a soft got 'em. It's not an aggressive got 'em. It's still a got 'em, but it's a soft got 'em.
Like, I also feel like they're one of ours.
Well, Matt, this is from May 6, 2016. This person predates our show.
Not by much.
Not by much. Not by much, but they were there. They were in the trenches. Morodrim is back. They said the song is about the dynamics of a drama-filled relationship. You know the types, where one or both feel the need to constantly create drama in a relationship, and for no other reason than that, they're addicted to the drama. This guy's obviously on the receiving end of someone that loves to play games just to go play them. He knows she does it just to drive him wild, and he gets sick of it. And he knows that she knows he loves her so much that she can keep doing this to him. The funny thing is, the guy, despite being sick of it, comes to terms with it and not only learns to live with it, but has convinced himself that something must be right for this drama to keep happening and resolving. Morodrim, how are you doing? What the fuck? Lady A-Bomb said this album fucking blew me away, and this song in particular makes me so happy I could spew. It's gorgeous. And Lowrider said, sounds like T's in denial. It's an S&M thing. Smiley face.
Wow.
And they threw that out there, and no one responded to it, but they still felt the need to respond anyway to explain what they meant. And so they said, it's about being toyed with by a girl, either sexually or emotionally, to the point of sadism. He longs to be with her, but she's reduced him to the level of a plaything to be used for her own enjoyment, and it drives him crazy with desire. Lowrider, have you met Morodrim? I think you two should definitely talk.
And practice some sadism together.
Did I say that wrong? Is it sadism?
You sure did. Yes.
Ah, fucking A. All right. Well, I'm leaving that in, I guess. All righty. Up next. That's a hard got him for me there.
I don't know why would I ever correct you, Lorin? I mispronounce words constantly.
Matt, I'm almost certain that I probably said it wrong on the last 411 episodes. So.
As I told you guys, I love listening to Roach Koach every Wednesday on my way into school, and I actually have a running tally of the words you misspeak. I just carve them into my dashboard and pray that I don't accidentally set off the airbag.
Airbag.
Well, you got another one to carve in a couple weeks, buddy.
Get ready for sadism.
That's right. Or as I said, sadism, which as I say it now, I'm like, what the fuck? Up next, we've got Into.
Oh, placed inside, safe and sound. Shapes and colors are all I see. Is this when from the day you arrived, I've remained by your side, in chains, entombed, placed inside, safe and sound, shapes and colors all I see. Wow. Is this a sub-dom relationship?
Well, Matt, let me tell you, there are a lot of conflicts in the history of the world that we're aware of. Some are going on right now. And one of the greatest conflicts is in the comments on songmeanings.com underneath any Deftones song made after Chi had his accident, in which everyone wants to fight on whether or not any song is about Chi. So this one, it's another war. X-Socian said this song is really sad, clearly about Chi, in my opinion. Crying emoji. Dizzy Kitsune said, I think the nature of the lyrics and the way he sings the song says it all. It's about Chi. At the chorus, you can almost hear that break in his voice, the one you hear when someone's talking to you on the brink of falling apart. Heartbreaking, really. My favorite song on the album, though, it's beautiful. Alexander91 said, I agree that it could be interpreted as a song about Chi, but it could also be interpreted as a song about someone else. And they go on to make a bunch of points about that. And then at the end say, overall, I do feel it could be about Chi. But at the same time, especially with the nature of Chino's lyrics, you can never be sure of anything being absolute about them. They're open to interpretation always. Chonka1 said Chino said a lot of his lyrics aren't necessarily about him, so it could be a loved one of Chi's. It just sounds too romantic to be a bro song, but you never know. You truly never know. As we just talked about, you can make a connection in the pit. You can make a connection in the pit and want to just, find out his t-shirt size, so you can both get the I'm with stupid shirts, What size are you? I'll be stupid and you can be with me. But I need to know your shirt size. I know a guy who does printing, Mitch's Prints, all right? He'll do it for me. He'll cut me a deal.
Heck yeah.
But I mean, I need to know. I'm feeling this connection right now. You could have that and it still be a bro feeling, okay? Commenter TPAT30 says, seems like Chino could be writing about a mother and her child before and after birth, in tune, placed inside, safe and sound. It's talking about the baby in its mother's womb. From the day you arrived, I became your device to name and soothe. The mother will name her child and soothe them as well. Thanks for the tip. Could be about Chi too, though. I'm sure it could be about a ton of things. That's probably how Chino likes it. That's the thing, though. These guys, they even when they get in there and they're like, oh, this is definitely, they got this airtight idea that this is about a mother and a child. Near the end, they're like, but it could be about Chi. I don't want to get attacked over here. Like, courage of your convictions, all right? Own it. Colos88 said, such an emotional song. Me and my girlfriend stood in the first row when Deftones played in London this Wednesday, and Chino came up and asked if we were a couple. Okay. I don't know if I believe this story, but I'm going to keep reading. Then he said, this song is sort of about that, but in ancient Egypt. I do, however, think symbolism fits with both Chi's coma and addiction to drugs and the feeling of being entombed alive.
Whoa.
I'm going to need a private investigator. I'm going to put him on retainer. I'm sending him to London because I need to get to the bottom of this shit.
We'll figure it out.
We got to figure it out. Listen, patreon.com/Roach Koach podcast. I got to hire the best detective around. All right. Whoever's the Sam Spade of 2024, I could get that guy.
I need a real first part of Matlock type
all
guy.
All right. Okay. I need fucking no. Perry Mason's a lawyer. Forget it.
Listen, so is Matlock, but they always do the investigations.
You know who we need?
What was Columbo?
He's a murder detective.
He was a detective. Yeah.
He's a murder detective.
He's a murder detective.
He only did murders. He was never investigated whether or not actual stage patter happened at a Deftones concert in 2013.
Yeah. Before you go, there was just one thing I needed to ask you.
The banter. Ancient Egypt.
You know about the banter.
Now, how many strings would you say a guitar normally has?
6. Yeah. That seems about right. Thank you very much.
Let's see.
One more thing.
Oh yeah. What? You have another question?
If you would add a string to the guitar, what would happen?
I mean, a 7th string. It seems like
make it 2 if you want. You want
2 strings. I mean, 8 strings. I mean, that's we've already passed Korn's signature sound. I guess that'd be Deftones signature sound.
You tell me.
Am I under arrest?
You have the right to remain silent.
I really want to know. I mean, I don't know. This song is sort of about that, but in ancient Egypt. I don't know. That's a really weird quote. Lowrider is back. And you may recall Lowrider was talking a little bit about sadism. And so I'm now going with that in your mind. Keep that in your mind. This is their comment. The hell, guys? If it's about chi, then how do you explain the chains and device lyrics? Sounds a lot more like a BDSM relationship. Specifically, a love letter from a slave to his mistress. Objectification, I become your device. Sexual servitude, to lay and to soothe. And restraints/cages, in chains entombed, are all common elements of BDSM, and these lyrics are too explicit not to notice. Look this stuff up if you don't believe me. Fiat Sierra, which sounds almost like fetish, contains BDSM themes as well.
It's all BDSM. It's all.
Listen, that is the
Always.
first Song Meanings comment that was typed by someone in a GIMP mask. All right.
I gotta get back. See you later.
Listen, he was like, listen, I need to be, if you can just let me out of this trunk for a minute, I got to log on real fucking quick. And then you can just put me back in. I'm going to zip this mouth shut.
I have
The safe
so
word
much
is passenger.
Ooh.
I'll leave you with this comment from Anna Kend, who said, regardless of the subject, the song is about loyalty. It's a statement of unwavering devotion. It is profound. Listen, BDSM relationship between a child and their mother, relationship between bandmates. Either way, somebody's locking in. They're locking into a vibe.
Vibe check.
Vibe check. All right. With that being said, let's get back into it with Graphic Nature. Matt, we'll start with you. How you feeling about Graphic Nature?
I feel good. I don't think my tone is changing too much in this record. I'm on the ride. I'm enjoying the ride. I feel like Chino is doing the Chino thing. The band is right there with it. I think they're locked in. I'm happy. I'm good. I feel like the lyrics are washing over me. Like if I'm looking for a song meaning, I would not be able to give you one. Like I have no idea what he said. It sounded like
really...
like that's how 90% of Chino's lyrics hit my ears. Like Changing the House of Flies is just this
You're not wrong. You know, I mean, listen, it's listen, Matt, with Chino's vocal delivery and lyrics, I think it's a situation where whatever you need to hear is what you'll hear. So if you're in search of a vibe, then you'll find it.
Yeah.
But if you're in search of something more, say, let's be honest, something more sensual, it's also there for you.
I feel like it's a real Rorschach
Sad-ism,
test.
perhaps.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. JD, how you feel about Graphic Nature?
This one, I don't have too much to say. I love having it in the mix. It seems like just kind of a song that came of all the processes that were going along into making this album. It was just like, hey, we have all these riffs. We were able to put them together and write a pretty decent song around it. I like it. It's fun. It's not like my favorite song, but I feel like almost every album, even those worthy of the instant classic or modern classic designation, deserve to have like, just one of those like hanging back tracks. I do want to make a quick plug about something, a way that I've found makes for a really magical Deftones listening experience. And so a couple of years ago, I was like, man, I really just want to slam the entire Deftones catalog in one day. How can I do that? Like, what's going to be able to like keep me in place long enough to like listen to the entire Deftones catalog. And for some random reason, I fell upon the idea of sort of like a Pink Floyd and Wizard of Oz situation. I thought, I'm going to watch all 3 Rush Hour movies on mute while the entire Deftones catalog plays. And I just got to say, with the like glossy vibes on all over this album, I just think this makes for a really good listen. In Well, nowadays you got to adjust with gore and ohms in there, so you might have to watch like Rush Hour 2 on half speed or something. But this is like a good start to Rush Hour 3 kind of song.
JD, I was
Lauren.
trying to guess what movies you were going to say. Rush Hour series was probably my 586th option.
Should try it.
Did not see that coming. Listen, here for me, the idea of Chris Tucker on mute, I gotta hear my boy spitting those lines. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I can't if he's on mute. I can't if he's on mute, JD. Also, if you really, what you need to do is you start with Money Talks, and then you watch the Rush Hour movies. Are you familiar with Money Talks?
No.
Money Talks is it's after Friday. Basically, Chris Tucker was like, "Hey, I'm coming off of Friday. I'm hot stuff. Give me my own movie." And so they just let him do this movie where he basically made up all the lines. And it's a movie that, I mean, nowadays it stars him and Charlie Sheen, and it's directed by Brett Ratner. So you can only imagine. But I can tell you that this is an important film for my family. My parents love this movie. There's a speech that Chris Tucker gives at one point where he quotes a Barry White song. And my dad basically paraphrased that speech at my sister's wedding. And yeah. And he came up to me after, because my dad gave a dad speech, and then my sister asked me to say something. And so my dad was giving the speech, and I was like, this seems familiar. And then he comes up to me, and then I went up and did my bit, and then he came up to me and he goes, "Did you catch in mine?" And I'm like, "It seemed familiar." And he goes, "Money Talks." And I was like, unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Dialed in. I just gotta say that this is truly stunning what you've said here in regards to watching the Rush Hour movies with the song playing. That's wild. I will truly going into the lyrics, because I had to. This is really a song about the graphic nature, guys. I'm gonna say it. Chino, he's doing it. But at the same time, though, we got these lines. "Leave your drape open. Let me inside. Guess I'm confused more or less. Shed some light and tell me your secret. How are you trained? I promise you I can keep it. Go on, explain. Tell me how you do it now." Which I wrote in my notes is, "I'm just trying to figure your ass out, girl. I'm just trying to figure you out." And he's trying to do the work. But at the same time, though, he's like, "Tell me how you do it. Every time you take my knees out, I'm on fire."
That Kerrigan steez.
Once again, he's just, he's like, "I'm trying to figure you out. You drive me nuts." But at the same time, when you drive me to my knees, I'm still into it. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Also, I can't go anywhere. You've driven me to my knees. I cannot run away. And I wrote in my notes, how does Chino keep finding himself under the spell of these hot, witchy women? There's also a woo in this. JD, you brought up the yells that he's trying to work in. There's a woo in there, which I really much like. And I said that the Chino's "I'm on fire" at the end of the song, when you think about saying, when people say like "I'm on fire," we've heard that lyric a lot. Bruce Springsteen, Jenny's best friend, he is somebody who definitely talks about "I'm on fire" is something that comes up in, I believe, the song called "I'm on Fire." But in this song, it doesn't sound like a fear of burning or suffering, but like of a resigned, relaxed hold. Yes, I'm on fire, but it's fine because it's for you. And I'm not going to be worried about anything.
It's a real horned up "I'm on fire."
It really is.
Mhm.
It really is. This is, then we have a gentleman in songmeanings.com. His name is Experiman. 8 upvotes on this comment. Really dug in. where they go in and they break down the lines. And they say, so they take the line, and tell me your secret. How are you trained? And he says, we all carry a trained persona, which we present as ourselves. However, this is not who we really are. It is a trained set of reactive patterns, a kind of shield for our inner core, which is true and pure and thus very vulnerable. Then he goes into the line, go and explain your poison is glowing against the night. He says the persona can be quite amazing. And even though it is incredibly deep and even seems luminescent, it is fake and thus toxic to the true core person it is supposed to protect. The tricks we like is another take on that. The fake persona is the ego. Then he goes to the line, every time it takes my knees out. He says, dislocating joints is used as a method of torture. To observe the true self is to relive and face every repressed memory of trauma you have ever felt. Essentially, the song may be about inspecting the methods of self-deception in yourself and others, which may be quite amazing in their complexity and repression, especially if what you are observing is yourself. Training may refer to the ways one creates habits, delusions, justifications, etc. I like to watch you release them. That's the experiment. Alex905 said, I was right with you until the dislocated joints.
As a guy who sends you guys a socioeconomic breakdown of Un Loco's first album,
yes,
even I feel like a line has to be drawn.
JD is like, whoa, experiment.
Whoa. Or should I say Experimandrew Tate?
And this comment, it's from Mapusan, who said, oh my God. I had to create an account just to respond to this. Bullshit. You're saying everyone is a fraud, a liar, a facade, a fake representation of who we want people to think we are. If your ego, or if you think everyone's ego is like that, fine, believe what you want. But painting everyone with such an ignorant stroke literally makes me disgusted. Your super ego didn't stop your id from spewing forth such a disingenuous ego that you need to rationalize everyone is like you, so your fragile mind doesn't fully shatter at the possibility someone somewhere is true to themselves and isn't afraid to display it to others. Then they took their laptop and they broke it over their knee.
Threw it into a river.
Yes.
Never were on the internet again.
That's it. They were done. They were done.
Chino's like gone on record to say like his vocals are like largely entirely up for interpretation, which I get is a lot of fuel for this website, but like these people are going hard in the paint for pretty abstract lyrics. This is like me getting mad about my first Rothko. Like
really?
Just a swear.
And finally, Matt's favorite commenter, Genesis fan, said, this is the only song in this album that has a bad word. I know there are other albums by other bands that have one bad word, so why does it have a parental advisory sticker? And that's when I was like, wait a minute. Who? Genesis fan, I assumed was like 50, late 50s. Is Genesis fan actually 11 years old? Do they have access? Is Genesis fan commenting under their parents' account?
Yes. Yeah, go to Genesis and see if the writing's different, Lorin.
I'll go check it out.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Up next, we've got Tempest.
It's pretty fucking great.
You like that one?
Matt, we'll start with you. Tempest, how are you feeling?
I have said in like, this is where I'm a hypocrite, where it's like some bands I want you just to cut to the chase. Deftones is not one of those bands. I don't mind the noodling. I don't mind the experimentation there. I don't mind the creating a sonic landscape, as it were. I definitely felt, we haven't talked about this in a while, some Depeche Mode influence on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Big time, and I am here for it as a major Depeche Mode fan. I this is great. I love this. In the Pocket.
I think, Matt, what also probably helps you with these later records as opposed to the early Deftones stuff is that Frank is not, not a member of the band in those early records, or he's only doing a little bit, but he's bringing the synth, he's bringing the sound design, he's bringing all that stuff to the forefront in these later records.
And you
And
know
that
I love a synth.
you love a synth.
I
You
I
love
honestly do. That is not hyperbole.
Yeah.
Like, I love synths.
Yeah, honestly, I'm right with you. I will be trolling reviews looking for albums to check out. And if somebody's like, this record, so much synth, I'm like, add to my list. Yes, let me
Check
hear
it
this
out.
album with a ton of synth on it. Want to hear it, want to hear what they're doing. So yeah, so I totally get that. JD Tempest. Do you wish this was played at your prom? How do you feel about this song?
I kind of feel like this is a bit like Deftones trying to have like their own kind of like a Freebird moment. Yeah, again, I feel like Chino's really aware, on their Stained episode, I talked about like Stained Inc. Like they're aware that they're not just a band, but they're like a business enterprise. And as I mentioned with the whoops and the woos, I think these guys are writing a lot of these songs with the idea like, oh, this is going to be something cool we can do on stage. And with Chino, if I may say, take some liberties in my interpretation here, I think Chino's like really spending a lot of time picturing himself holding a guitar on stage, singing a song. And like, I don't know what Chino's love life is like around the time of this album, but I can imagine in his mind, he's just like hearing thousands of screaming women at him during the soft silence of this intro. And I don't know, I get real heavy in the interpretations here, but this song really reminds me of something that I've been aware of happening to a lot of my favorite bands. And for lack of a better term, I totally looked up like if there was a more PC way to describe this thing. I don't think it's going to be that problematic, but I call it Oriental Rug Syndrome or Oriental Carpet Syndrome. But like, it's like when your favorite band that you grew up like it was just 4 or 5 people getting up on stage, same stage, all together there. But then as they advance and they get like more money, they each get their own little ornate rug on stage, and they're each standing on their own rug in the studio, on the stage, in the tour bus, in the backstage. They've got grass, but they've put a rug on top of the grass and they're standing on the rug, and they're all in their own little rug universe. And I just feel like this is where we get a little into like Beatles White Album territory, where they start to separate and it's a little less cohesive. All that being said, I still think the song rips. I think when that when it really kicks in after the soft intro, I think it's so badass. And like I can imagine like Ghost Rider, flaming skull on a motorcycle riding into the pit and everyone just getting horny AF to this cool Deftones song.
Well, I'll have you know that this song is featured in Furious 7.
In Fuck Shop 69.
Also in Fuck Shop 69, which is one of Matt's top 100 pornos.
He's a real high class porno, JD.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You watch this one with a lady, and she's gonna go, "What are you doing?"
Well,
Which
see,
is the best you can hope for.
Now the thing is that Matt knows. Now, JD, I know you're probably thinking like, how well can I trust Matt's porno recommendations? You may have caught earlier, Matt's been into porno since 2nd grade. He knows more than anybody you've ever met. Okay. He knows it all. He knows the really good stuff and he knows the crap stuff. All right. All right. Matt, is it true that you are the one who gave Hustler Magazine their rating scale of a total boner to limp boner? Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a real rating system?
That's the real rating system. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I didn't get into porno as early as Matt did, but I did have a moment. I want to let everybody know that we're all trying to be very tasteful and everything. And there's a comment on songmeanings.com.
We're all trying to be very tasteful.
Very tasteful, Matt. Well, he was saying earlier, I just want to
fucking monster over here.
This comment from J Wizzle 101. Honestly, I thought the song was about, and they meant to say cunnilingus. What they wrote was cunning-lingus. Taking out the stories, that's the impression she got from watching porn, but Chino is trying to explain what it's really like. And then I'll just read it. What am I stopping myself for? She's laying on her back, and all she can do is stare at the ceiling as he, quote, tastes it, spins in circles, and, quote, spits in it. Again, only my interpretation. Wouldn't be surprised, though, as even with bored, it was a coin toss between Chino's past drug life or masturbation. That's my piece on it. Thoughts? No one responded to that.
Hey, any fellow perverts out there just want to talk about my stroke fantasies?
Anybody, any extra perps? I want to say about this song that it's incredible. Totally agree 100%. Always love this one. Shows up right when you need it on the album. I'm with you at Matt 100%. Take all the time you need to get to that drop. I'm in it. I'm there. The song is in Furious 7. It's played during a sequence in which Vin Diesel and Paul Walker are prepping for a final showdown against Jason Statham. When this hit in the theater opening night, when I was seeing it, I did feel my body lift into the air for a moment because I was like, fuck, it's Tempest, and it's playing over this scene where they're getting ready to whoop ass.
Are they like walking real slow when the riff kicks in, when it gets all heavy?
They're cutting the ends off of a shotgun to make it a sawed-off shotgun.
Hell yeah.
Come
Hell
on.
fucking yeah, baby. And then they pull their cars out of their homes, except their home is all destroyed and charred because Jason Statham blew it up at the beginning of the movie. Let me tell you, feelings. That's one where they were like, listen, we want to use a Deftones song in the new Fast and Furious movie. Only if it plays in a moment that's sick as hell.
That's right.
But also meaningful. And they said, oh, we got the scene
We
for
got
you.
you.
We got you. We got you. Incredible journey, incredible song. A few people accuse Chino of trying to cash in on the 2012 phenomenon with this one, taking the Tempest of the title very literally. I don't know how you cash in on the 2012 phenomenon, especially if for an album that comes out at the tail end of 2012. That's not cashing in. And also, their comments not that interesting, but there was a commenter's name was Gassy Gunslinger, and I just had so many questions. Like, just what, strutting into town, just farting like crazy?
Pow, 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 pow.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, Matt, you would appreciate this comment from Alex905, who said, what the lyrics are about literally is kind of irrelevant. It's all about what the listener gets out of them with Deftones and most other bands in my experience. Interpret it how you want and rock on.
Please do.
Hey, you know what I like? I like when people enjoy music. Good listening, cool waves. See you on the beach, friends.
Matt, who's this character? What's his character's name?
Oh, that character is called Stroke Fever Dream.
Love him. Great guy. Bring him back more often. All right. Up next, we've got a song, and it's called Gauze. Guys, we're back to riffing. We're back to rocking once again. You know what we're back to? We're back to crunch. We're back to crunch. The chorus is on this album. Tremendous.
Yep.
This song here, Gauze, a bit more swing to it. I was loving it. I was enjoying it. I was feeling it. I mean, what are we talking about here? The boys are back. They're doing the damn thing. Right now, I'm leaning towards that this might be an instant classic. Matt Nas.
This is great. This is really good. I'm really
I'm really enjoying this Deftones record, which is something I don't know if I've ever really said. Boy, oh boy, it is heading towards instant classic.
Whoa. You're here for this, JD. You're here for this. You heard it here first, buddy.
I have a question for you though, Lorin.
Happy to be
Yeah.
part of this.
I'm so happy you're here, JD. I have a question for both of you though.
Yeah.
I hate to be the guy who on the Nu-Metal podcast goes, how new is this record? But how new is this record?
I'm gonna be honest. It's not very
Well,
Nu-Metal.
what
JD.
did she say?
I would say I don't think it's that Nu-Metal. JD, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think like, have you guys ever seen that clip where someone asked Chad Kroeger what it's like working for McDonald's? And
No.
you guys ever seen the TV Carnage DVDs? Shout out TV Carnage. Someone goes, "Hey, Chad Kroeger, what's it like working for McDonald's?" And he very quickly defensively reacts, "I'm not working for McDonald's." And then there's like the audio of him saying, "I'm not working for McDonald's. I'm not working for McDonald's," plays while it's like a bunch of pictures of him with Ronald McDonald. Deftones were always quick to sort of knee jerk say like, we're not
Nu-Metal.
Just like Jonathan Davis claims that Korn is a funk band. I do feel like they're really stepping into their own here. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I really like how Diamond Eyes, like I was saying earlier, is kind of like a straight ahead rock record, but I think they really made an album that's unlike any other album in their catalog. For me, the closest comparison is White Pony, but I could see if someone wanted to say like they have nothing in common. Yeah, I don't know. Is it really a new record? It's kind of like a.
I would
Yeah,
say, yeah. I would say at this point that they've kind of smoothed out a lot of the areas that
Yes.
would have been something you could point to in the past. Even something like Swerve City, which if you want to read into the lyrics of that or read into the title of that, is puts you in a mode where like, oh, we got another crusher here. We're going straight nu-metal, but they don't. They smooth it out. And even on Diamond Eyes, I mean, Diamond Eyes still has Rocket Skates. Still has I think it's Control Delete, Control Command. And those are songs that still have a lot of like nu-metal vibes to them. And really, you can go back through all that. There's a ton of nu-metal moments on Saturday Night Wrist. Self-titled's got Bloody Cape. You don't get much more new than that. And so, but here it seems like they really figured out if we get this spacey and we get this smooth, we can still be heavy, but we're getting away from really anything that would give you like that nu-metal tag.
Yeah, the riffs are powerful, but they do not have the chug that is present in earlier Deftones efforts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's really cool. I think they really like spaced it out on this one, and like I already said with my Mario Galaxy association, like I just think this album's got like a real cool like otherworldly quality. That cover art has this like I want to say that they got that photo. It's like a photo into a mirror or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that.
Yeah, it's just got like this really mystical, weird, glamorous vibe, and I think they just really made a cool piece of art that sticks to this cohesive idea. I think Deftones are generally very good at that, but I think they really like knocked it out of the park of like making something very unique, which I think is something that they've tried to do ever since they've started distancing themselves from Adrenaline, because they thought like it didn't really encapsulate what they were trying to do as a band.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for one thing, we can all agree that after Adrenaline, there was definitely more thought put into the product design of these albums.
Yeah.
Especially at this point, and Diamond Eyes, you definitely can feel, like, okay, guys, we got to work on. I mean, honestly, the Gore album cover, incredible.
Much better than the album.
Spoiler alert. Yep. Songmeanings.com, you guys. No one created an account, but people got a little heated. We had a gentleman named Rowdy311 who said, my interpretation, for me, the meaning of this song is about a guy who's in love with a girl he can't be with anymore. The girl fell in love with him first. I can't stop what you begin. He fell in love second. She doesn't want to be with him anymore. I just don't know if I could let myself fall in love. Now face the other side. When he says, just go, it's cool. Now head into the fire. In the fire, meaning he's going into a relationship. And he's left by her and the relationship is over. This goes on and on and on. And at the end, he says, again, this is just my interpretation of the song. Then Bella6497 says, my interpretation, I think this lyrics is about a girl who has to choose from a friend with benefits and an ex, and the benefit guy knows she will choose her she will choose her ex. It's a mistake, but go ahead and take a side. The friends with benefits is in love with her and doesn't see sex. Friend with benefits to use her decision. On and on and on. At the end, they said, personally, I'm going through this with a guy who's choosing between me and his ex. Robert1129 comes in.
Oh, here we go.
And first they comment under a my 2 cents comment, who basically just says that it's about stories and what have you. And they say, you really nailed it, my 2 cents. You really got it right. You nailed the points and the lyrics of the song being specifically about it being a reluctant war hero. But for fuck's sake, people, don't make every song interpretation a psychological projection into your relationship problems.
Don't you dare. I'm not here
It's
for
clearly about she.
Got him.
That's a got him. That's a got him. All right. Up next, it's Rosemary.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Listen, go to your local streaming service and listen to Rosemary in full, then come on back.
Wait. Please have an automobile.
Oh,
Please let it be evening, dusk,
Okay.
into pitch black dark.
Okay.
Make sure that you find yourself on some form of country road, perhaps a U.S. highway, interstate if you have to.
Matt, do you recommend a clear night?
I think a clear night is the best night.
Okay. All
I
right.
need some fucking stars.
Okay.
And yeah, just drive with Rosemary playing.
Matt, do you think you might need some accompaniment though? Do you think you might need
Ooh. Could you maybe get 20-piece nugs from
I think a 20-piece nug. I think that might be the way to go.
Yeah, this is a hardcore night drive song. Catch me in the right mood. Might even get a tear out of me. This is premium good shit. This is good shit.
Matt, give it up, buddy. You are officially, I'm calling it here. I'm calling it right now. You've just shifted into instant classic mode.
Yeah, this is good shit.
Oh, guys, I happened to look up, I asked ChatGPT for a list of alternatives for instant classic, just in case we want to maybe see if there's any other categories of these.
Sure.
Timeless masterpiece, modern classic, instant hit, contemporary gem, instant legend, cult favorite, immediate classic, insta classic (parentheses informal), quick classic, pop culture phenomenon, which I think that last one counts for Roach Koach.
Thank you. Culture phenomenon. I like that.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
feel the most dismissive is contemporary gem. that one almost feels like a fuck you.
That feels like fool's gold. That's what it feels like.
It's a contemporary gem.
Contemporary gem.
Let's be honest.
A real contemporary gem.
You seem pretty good for right now. You'll do.
It's no timeless masterpiece. But
it's a contemporary gem.
Listen, for right now, for what we need right now,
today,
right now, contemporary gem. Contemporary gem. Absolutely.
I think that's fair. I mean, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah. This is I love the moodiness of this. I feel like that the bass into the drop, extremely cinematic. This song is definitely about drugs. I won't hear anything else. I won't hear any other takes. But Songmeanings.com does say that, let me find it here, that Chino was asked about this song. Let me find it. Where is that? Oh, here it is. Garza 83. Time travel. I was part of a Twitter Q&A on the day they released their album, and a fan asked what this song was about, and Chino said it was about time travel.
Egypt.
He said, listen, whatever's going on between the two of you, it's a little like that, plus ancient Egypt, plus time travel. Put it together. That's what we're doing. Chino is just fucking with people and walking away and not thinking about the damage he's leaving in his wake.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah, Matt.
How respectful of our time is this album?
Oh, Matt, this is an excellent question. I will let you know that this album clocks in at a sweet 51 minutes and 50 seconds.
That seems a little long, but I feel like we have these intros, and if the intros take you on the trip, it doesn't feel long.
Yeah. Listen, I can tell you that listening to this album, a pleasure every time.
You know, it's like that first great conversation with a significant other of any kind, or just, just a chance encounter with somebody that you connect with, and the next thing you know, it's 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, and you're like, we've been talking since 4 p.m. How did this happen?
Mm-hmm. Connections, absolutely. I had one. I had another comment from Song Meanings, but I'm not going to read it because I don't want to ruin this. Because let me tell you, this comment would ruin that. So we're just going to dive into the next one. It's Goon Squad. So I want to go right to the meaning on this one because we all agree they're rocking, they're ripping. If you listen to this album in full, this song kind of works as like a bit of a continuation of Rosemary. But the people on Songmeanings.com are making the point that this song is about fucking posers.
Oh.
And how everybody's out here trying to just jock the steez of Deftones. And Deftones are like, listen, you want to roll against us? We'll be a fucking goon squad and we'll stomp your ass. Here we go. False sense of security with that open because it's still soft. Oh, we're coming out of Rosemary. Have Deftones gone soft? They gone soft? And then it's like, boom, right in. Nope. We got the squad here, boys. Boots, face, ass. It's going into you. Get ready. We're going for it. And I love that. I looked at that interpretation and I was like, I'm just going to paraphrase a bunch of these. I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to say, good job, comment section. I think you nailed it on this one. JD, how'd you feel about Goon Squad?
I have some notes here that don't indicate how like heavy and awesome that riff is. Definitely you hear the cool echo thing that he does to the ow. And again, I think it's Chino realizing the power of his instrument, his voice, and letting it do cool things on these Deftones recordings. I do sort of have an issue with the song title Goon Squad, which I've looked up to see if that's some like reference to some VHS cult classic or something that I don't know that is meaningful to them. But it brings up this issue I have of especially some mid-era Deftones track titles, specifically on like Saturday Night Wrist and Diamond Eyes, where they had these like funny song titles. Like all the song track titles on the first 3 records are all like pretty serious or at least artfully vague. And then on Saturday Night Wrist, you have songs like the Konami Code, which I think there's some error technically in their lyric in the song title that's not exactly the Konami Code, but it's up, up, DD, or up, down, down, LR, LR, AB, select start. And they have one called Rats with exclamation marks. I don't know. I just get like, I get a little weird when bands I love start to like have like weird song titles that are in all caps usually is like a red flag for me. um I was like really upset when Issues came out, and I looked at the back and I saw there was a song called For You, and Let's Get This Party Started. I was like really offended by both of those titles. Now I love both of those songs, especially For You, I think might actually be my favorite Korn song. Um, but anyway, that's just one thing I want to know. I think it's weird when bands start, like, especially serious slash horny bands have like weird song titles. Like, does this song evoke a Goon Squad to you guys? I mean, I know it does to the good people of songmeanings.com, but like,
What's funny to me is that when this album came out, I was aware of a book that had come out the previous year that Rachel had read called A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan, which won the Pulitzer Prize. And so I remember seeing this book around the house. And so then I see this Deftones album with a song called Goon Squad. And I'm like, I guess goon is just the word of the time right now. We're just throwing it around. And so honestly, I didn't really pay it any mind. And, I mean, as people have pointed out over time, Deftones are known for, these sort of, esoteric song titles, with names like Swerve City and Doomed User. And, what's the Radiant? Is it Radiant City that's on Ohms? Is that the song?
yeah, something like that. I
Radiant
don't know.
City, yeah, Radiant City. This link is dead. I mean, if anything, yeah, these this just feels par for the course for me for Deftones. I didn't feel like anything would throw me out. Matt, are you
976 Evil?
Yep, there you go. Yeah,
That's a little weird.
I would say that one would seem like a weirder one than Goon Squad to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the weirdest. It just like sticks a bit.
Mm-hmm. Matt.
Yeah, thinking about the title Goon Squad, instantly my brain went, what song has Goon Squad? And then I'm like, oh, it's Fashion, David Bowie. We are the Goon Squad and we're coming to say beep beep. And then I read these lyrics and I'm like, that's why it's called Goon Squad, because this is about fashion. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, weird, but I was like, okay, well, like, at least that's my take. It's the thing I designed for you. It's my own couture. And then it's like, oh, yeah, and that lyric is so weird from Bowie, like in fashion, to have we are the Goon Squad and we're coming to say beep beep, one of his stranger lines, in the history of strange lines. So that was my
it's also
take.
got really good Adrian Belew guitar work.
Adrian Belew was amazing. When he toured with the Talking Heads, that was really great. Was it him or was it Fripp? I can't never remember that. I think it was Adrian.
No, it was him. It was him.
They on this Talking Heads talk, Lorin.
I have nothing to add. I've literally never listened to the Talking Heads. So
yeah, I never do either. I'm just interested in Adrian Belew.
Adrian Belew toured with Talking Heads, and on YouTube you can check out Born Under Punches from Rome, and he is doing all the guitar work, and it is phenomenal. There you go.
There you have it. We're on the last song. It's called What Happened to You.
That's so Money in the Bank for my ears. I love those tones. I like that modulation. I love the way that sounds. That is, let me check my chat GPT. That is a promptly hailed masterpiece. Oh, did I mention my chat GPT is on angel dust?
Wowzers. Yeah, this is simply incredible. I think we all agree the boys did it here. They brought it home. And there's of course a bunch of people arguing in the comments and song meetings about whether or not it's about Chi. Somebody was like, listen, I'm sure Chi was a great guy, but these songs got to be about something else. But I think this comment from Micah Z, they listed it as my opinion. This song is about how we are non-physical beings experiencing a physical world. Think about that shit.
Wow.
There you go.
Think about it.
And that is That's the album, you guys. It's Koi no Yokan by
We did it.
Deftones. We did it. And I know a few people are probably asking, Lauren, what does that song title mean? It is a phrase from the Japanese language translated to premonition of love.
Are you talking about the album title?
The album title, yes. The album.
Wow.
Just let me.
Yes.
I got to run to the garage and etch a line in the dashboard of my car.
What did I mispronounce now?
You said song title. Sorry, just for
Okay.
asking you.
All righty. Guys, it's the part of the show where we talk about
Canon Talk.
talking about the canon. That's right. JD, you're our
Thanks,
guest.
JD.
We'll start with you.
I mean, I know we just had a pretty lengthy discussion about how Deftones can occasionally transcend new, but I mean, in my opinion, this is a timeless masterpiece, or at the very least, a contemporary gem. I mean, we can all agree. So, I mean, I want to chuck it in there. I want the canon to have evidence that like we can, we can like extend the new to new frontiers, so so to speak. So I don't know. Yes, canon, Koi no Yokan.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. Matt, I'll go to you.
Oh, well, I would consider this a swift classic, perhaps even a quick hit classic or an immediate treasure. It definitely is a promptly hailed masterpiece. It's quick hit, iconic in my words. Those are all my words that I would use for it. In my opinion, it is my favorite Deftones record that I've heard so far. So of course I would want to put it into the canon because we have so much Deftones in the canon. Is it new? No, it's not. It's not. So I have a hard time putting it in compared to us not putting in that first Corn record.
Nice.
But I
like
can't
this.
but I can't use that as the scale for everything.
Mm.
So
Is there like a canon like waiting room or something? Like our Corn's first album is just like waiting to get called in kind
yeah,
of
it's
thing.
in a very big purgatory state.
Yeah.
Um there's a lot to like here on this record. Obviously.
Mhm.
We praised the whole thing and we're pretty much no notes throughout the whole thing, which is high praise for a record. But I'm stuck that it's not going into the Nu-Metal Canon versus the best Deftone tier list. Like
Mhm.
Deftones tier list, this feels like an S. This is S tier Deftones tier list.
Mhm.
I'm going to say it doesn't go in the canon. And Lauren, you're going to have to tie break.
Okay.
And
Well,
I think you're the right person to do it. So
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So on the ranking scale of timeless classic, modern classic, contemporary gem, I always like to go back to my rating scale, which is the boys did it again. That is what I would give it to this one. I wrote a few things, but I want to go actually back to February 3rd, 2013, to what I wrote about this album when I put it at number 3 on my list. Is this the best Deftones album? Maybe. These guys just keep getting better, and Koi no Yokan hits all the sweet spots and never falters. This is easily the best collection of Deftones mid-tempo slow burn ballad monsters that they've been trying to perfect since the self-titled album in 2003. If Entomb doesn't become a metalhead wedding staple, I will be very surprised. It still has plenty of blazing riffs, but it's pretty great to hear these gorgeous ballads with Stephen Carpenter's guitar just wailing into what I imagine is the night sky. That being said, well said by me of the past. I feel like this album is incredible. I think that they're amazing. and they do everything they want to do, and I love it forever, but it's not Nu-Metal, and so I would not put it in the canon.
Respect.
Wow.
That is where I stand, and I understand where you're coming from, JD, but ultimately, when we sat down and said, let's make this Nu-Metal canon, you gotta have a little bit of the new in there. And this is the strongest case, and we touched on this earlier. This is the strongest case for Deftones to free themselves of the Nu-Metal moniker that they don't want. And before there was always something that would like drag them back in, but this feels like the first record where it's like they stripped it all away. None of it's there. And
Sexily. Stripping it.
Oh, there you go.
Pants
There
are
it is.
off now.
Pants off.
Rating
Done.
scale of fully erect dong.
That's the stuff. Oh, beautiful. So there you have it. Deftones not in the canon, but they made an instant classic. So all the same. Well done. And that does bring us to the end of another episode of Roach Koach. JD, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you guys so much.
Truly appreciate it. People can check out the How I Got to Know This podcast wherever you get podcasts. And you can, of course, keep saying hello to us online: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're on all those, baby. We're on them all. Send us an email, roachcoachpodcast@gmail.com. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/roachcoachpodcast. Check out the Pact. Check out new and exciting ways to vote. Check out all those different things. Plus, we need the Patreon money, as I do need to hire a private investigator to investigate Chino's stage patter in London in 2013. Gonna need to fund that guy. Got to put him on retainer because he's gonna be doing some footwork. So until next time, Matt, thank you.
Lorin, thank you.
JD,
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thanks so much.
yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Roach Koach
Podcast.
hot all day, every day. It's the Roach Koach
Podcast.
all day.